Jay-Z, P. Diddy Combs have been in the news a lot lately. Jay-Z has not been arrested. I just wanted to say this, man. I'm a big fan of Jay-Z. I'm a fan of Puff, but not like Hove, not like Jay-Z. Jay-Z spoke to a lot of us, man, through his music and the way he carried himself and just the way he moved, right? So there's a lot of us that are fans, not only of the music, but just the way he moved, in his personal life. At least what we've seen. Okay, it wasn't like I'm a friend of his or anything like that. So I don't know him, but when the allegations came down from a person when she was, well, this is 20 some years ago, 24 years ago, I think she was 13 years old. It seemed like there was a lot of holes in the story. Just listening to everything for the first time and then listening to everything a second time around. It just seemed like there was a lot of holes in the story. Now, I'm not saying that Jay-Z is innocent. I'm not saying that at all. I would like for him to be, just because I'm a fan. So that would be my bias. But I'm not saying that he's innocent. But there is a brother that I have a lot of respect in the sports world, man, as a sports commentator. He stepped in and spoke up for Jay-Z. I really appreciated all the things that he had to say, especially about just knowing Jay-Z for a long time and just knowing the man personally. I didn't see anybody step up in defense of Puff. P. Diddy, as y'all know him. We know him as Puff, depending on how far back you go. I think that speaks. A lot to Jay-Z's character, man. Once again, I have no idea, man. I have no idea if he's guilty or innocent. But remember this: in this country, you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, and there's a lot of people out here on social media that wants to see the downfall of this man. And I've seen it for years. I've been hearing things about Puff for years. Not so much Jay-Z, but you would hear a little bit here and there from different people that would talk about him. And then you would have people in social media that would chime in and they want him to be so guilty so bad. Without any going to court and defending himself. I think that him and his attorney has been strong in their response. He asked, why don't you guys make this a criminal case, versus a civil case? So I think that says a lot as well. So I just want to get into this brother here, man, Stephen A. Smith. I'm a big fan of his, man. I have been for a long time, and I just thought this was really important. The words that he has to say about his friend, Jay-Z, Sean Carter.
Gotta get started in the world of music and entertainment, where a new lawsuit this week alleges Jay-Z and Sean Diddy Combs raped a 13-year-old girl more than 20 years ago after an awards show after party. The suit was filed in New York's Southern District. That's the same jurisdiction currently holding Sean Combs in a federal jail on sex trafficking and racketeering charges until his trial this upcoming spring. As for Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Carter, he's denied the allegations, calling them idiotic, to say the least. He went on to say the plaintiff's attorney, named Tony Busby, tried to blackmail him in a demand letter sent before the suit was actually filed. Busby appeared on this show in October, if y'all would recall, and told us about a number of alleged victims that approached his office. Take a listen to Mr. Busby back then. Are these alleged co-conspirators? Are they public figures? Are they well-known people in Hollywood, in the music industry? Are they people who worked for P. Diddy Combs? Could you be specific in that regard?
I would say yes to all the above. Yeah.
All of the above.
All the above. People that names that you would know, some people's names you wouldn't know, but are people that are in management or executive positions, people that were benefiting from this culture that was created, people that were there knowing that this was going to happen, people that actually participated.
Now, here's a portion of Jay-Z's statement issued in the aftermath of news of the suit breaking on Sunday. Quote, "These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree? These alleged victims would deserve real justice if that were the case, end quote. In addition to the statement, Jay-Z didn't stop there. On Monday, yesterday, his legal team asked the judge to deny a request for the plaintiff to remain anonymous. Jay-Z's lawyer argued that the accuser's decision to file a lawsuit against his client under the name Jane Doe was, quote, inconsistent.
Couple things. I don't think that you should be able to remain anonymous. I think that's totally unfair, man. You have someone that's built their brand. And I'm not saying that Jay-Z is innocent here. I would like to hope that he is. I would like to hope that he's not capable of doing something like this, right? I would like to hope that Puffy's not capable of doing something like this, okay? Just so we're clear. I'm just saying, if you're going to bring allegations against someone, and these are very serious allegations, I think that you should be able to face your accuser. I think that anybody should be able to do that. And furthermore, for Jay-Z to come out with this statement and say, well, you know, why go for a civil lawsuit? Why not go for criminal? Put someone in prison for doing something like this to a child. I think that person should go to prison or worse. You know? So strong statements, man. Strong statement from Jay-Z and his camp. Let's go ahead and continue with the brother Stephen A.
With a genuine effort to determine the truth or falsity of these allegations as opposed to an effort to procure a quick settlement. His attorneys want a dismissal of the suit or disclosure of the plaintiff's identity. Basically, that's it. Ladies and gentlemen, let me say this. A couple of things. I don't know Sean Diddy Combs. I've met him on a few occasions. I've spoken to him on a few occasions. I don't know whatever truth or falsehood is associated with his name. I haven't cast any guilt or innocence upon Sean Diddy. I simply reported it. Had Ryan Smith, legal analyst, on 1 minute, Eli Honig, CNN analyst, on another, Ellie Honig, a CNN analyst, on at another occasion, dissecting and analyzing the case against Sean Diddy. The reason why I broached that was because his homes were raided in both Los Angeles and Miami by Homeland Security. News had been percolating, and it was clearly evident that an indictment would be forthcoming, and that clearly they were going to go after Sean Diddy Combs. That is the United States government. Mr. Busby is not that. He is a lawyer. I am not going to sit here and dismiss or excoriate Mr. Busby or his client, who's anonymous at this particular moment in time, and the allegations that she has leveled against Jay-Z. Here's what I will say. I'm broaching this story right now because we're talking about a friend of mine who is Jay-Z, somebody that I've known now for 25 years. And I'm going to state for the record, not calling anybody any names, not challenging Mr. Busby or the accuser, whomever. I'm telling you, I've known this man for 25 years. And I'm saying, for me, Stephen A. Smith, there is no way in hell I believe this about him. The Jay-Z that I know is the Jay-Z that I've seen around teenagers, and he doesn't even want us playing the kind of music we kind of listen to in hip hop. He made us turn it off. That dude who was in concert in 2004 performing alongside R. Kelly, who he grew to dislike a lot, particularly because of the allegations against him, who found things like that despicable and abhorrent. Anybody that's been around Jay-Z and knows him has seen him come to the defense of the most helpless amongst us, which are the children. I can't believe for 1 second that he would ever be associated with an allegation like this. And I felt it was important to bring that up because you got people out there. Stephen A., you had something to say about Diddy. Why aren't you going to have something to say about Jay-Z? Well, I don't know Diddy. I I've met him a few times, talked to him a few times, absolutely. But I've known Jay-Z for 25 years. I don't believe it. Now, that's as far as I can go, because again, if you can't provide eyewitness evidence to refute the allegations that have been levied against anyone, it's irresponsible to go over the airwaves and go any further than that. It is not irresponsible to point out who a friend of mine is. Somebody that I've come to know and love and don't believe for 1 second would be capable of such a thing. That's not irresponsible. That's love right there, because of what you know about a person based on your personal interactions with them, along with the people that have been around them. I don't believe it. And I tell you what also made me comfortable enough to come on the camera and say this to all of y'all. That quote that Jay-Z gave. Put it up there again, because I want the audience to see it again. I want to read the quote to you, okay? These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Bam! What he's saying is, let's go. Let's go to court. Who is she? I got children at home. Beyonce's my wife. You think I'm going to let you talk about me like that when I got to explain to my children, your dad is not a rapist? You think that's a conversation that I want? You think I'm going to let that slide? That's what Jay-Z is saying. I have not spoken to him since these allegations have come down. Again, I was in Dubai, in Abu Dhabi. Not that the phones don't work there. I just haven't spoken to him about it. But I'm telling you what my personal belief is. Rape? First of all, I wouldn't believe that. Secondly, a 13-year-old? No. And I understand that everybody in this day and age got to be careful about where you go and what. I got that. I understand it. We weren't eyewitnesses. We can't castigate the accuser. We can look at the lawyer as an ambulance chaser because he's pursuing a civil suit which involves money as opposed to a conviction that'll send you to jail. I get that. But I'll be damned if you could be friends with somebody for over 20 years with a platform like I have and various others have, and not at least acknowledge the person that you know and the person that you've been around and the person that you've spoken to, that you've come to love, you don't believe is capable of something like that. I don't think it's a crime. It's not a crime to say that.
I agree with Stephen A, man. I think it takes a lot of courage to do it. Stephen A is, I mean, he's the man, dude. Man, Stephen A is the man. He's everywhere. And, you know, he's a very successful, and I think as far as a sports analyst, man, I agree with mostly everything he says, man. I just love the way he has passion for what he does. And it shows here. Not only does he have passion for what he does professionally, but he also has passion for his friends, man. And for him to stand up for Jay-Z like this, because like I said, man, I don't know if Jay-Z is guilty or innocent or Sean P. Diddy Combs is guilty or innocent. It just seemed like to me and a lot of people, friends and family and friends that are like family who have discussed this, right? Jay-Z didn't feel right to us. Like, nah, not Hov. Not saying that he didn't do it. It just, most of us, probably 99% of us don't believe that he did it. I'm talking about in my circle of friends. But, you know, we're going to let the justice system handle it, man, and see what happens here. But I'm glad that Stephen A stepped up, man, and defended his friend. That takes courage. That takes a lot of courage. You're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty in this country. Keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen.
Now, again, we'll find out more, and the story probably won't go away. But the number one reason I felt comfortable enough to come out and say what I said is because of that quote. Put it up there one last time. These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree? These alleged victims would deserve real justice if that was the case. And then after that, the brother is pursuing her identity. Let's go. It happened more than 20 years ago, allegedly. You weren't an adult then. You're clearly an adult now. If it happened over 20 years ago, that would leave you in your 30s. I don't know. I'm saying to you, again, the allegation is about what happened to a child. But that child, once upon a time, allegedly has now come forward as an adult. I'm going to go right or left, whatever way you want to take it, by getting a little bit political here. When you think about the election that has transpired and some of the things that have transpired in our society, when we talked about woke culture, it wasn't just about transgender or other issues involving whether it's the LGBTQ community or whomever. It was also about America being a society that once upon a time presumed you innocent until proven guilty, and how that has now changed. Careers and livelihoods have been compromised over sheer accusations. And so you're going to have people who are salacious enough to point the finger at Jay-Z, and then you're going to have others that will go in the opposite direction. But be clear, this ain't P. Diddy. Homeland Security didn't raid Jay-Z's home. He wasn't charged with multiple felony accounts that can land him in jail for the rest of his natural life. He has been accused by a plaintiff who's hired a lawyer in pursuit of civil retribution 20 years after the fact. That's not P. Diddy. This is different. And all I'm going to say is, I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. None of you were there or whatever. But if people can look at this and say, hey, I think he's guilty, then we also have the freedom for some of us to look at it and say, you got to prove that to me because I can't imagine he would be guilty of such a thing. And that's where I'm coming from.
I agree with Stephen A, man. You have the right to sit up here and say that Jay-Z's guilty. And then people like Stephen A and myself have the right to sit up here and say, I can't see Jay-Z doing that. I don't know him personally like Stephen A. Smith does, okay? I don't. I'm just a big fan of his, man. He's one of my top 5, so of course my opinion is going to be a little bit biased. But if Jay-Z is guilty of these heinous crimes, then he should go to prison. He said it in a statement. You know, what are we doing with the civil? Let's do the criminal, and let's take this to court. Remember, you are innocent until proven guilty, and that applies to Jay-Z too. People, I don't know what it is, man. People have a propensity to want to see celebrities torn down and want to cast doubt. They want to cast their judgment, and they'll come up with all the things to support what they believe. And it could just be they don't like the person. They'll just say, you know what, this person's guilty. He's guilty. I know he is. But you don't know. You wasn't there. Because if you knew, and if you have video, and if you have eyewitnesses and things of that nature, then come forward. Come forward. Because no child should be subject to these things, man. This is horrible. The case with Diddy is horrible. The case with Jay-Z, or the accusation. Like Stephen A. Smith said, man, his homes were not raided. He hasn't been charged. So we're talking about Jay-Z. And he's free as a bird. And he came back with a very strong statement. Let's take this to court. So I want to actually take a look at the interview with the alleged victim. Let's take a look at that right now.
Tonight, Jay-Z fighting back against a rape accusation. His attorney filing a letter to the judge to dismiss the rape lawsuit against his client, citing an NBC News exclusive that found inconsistencies with the accuser's story.
You should always advocate for yourself.
It comes after our interview with a 38-year-old mother from Alabama who accuses Sean Diddy Combs and Sean Jay-Z Carter of raping her when she was 13 years old. She asked us not to reveal her identity.
What made you want to come forward?
Because I think that I've been quiet long enough.
She says that she went to the MTV Video Music Awards in 2000. The woman says she spoke to Combs' limo driver, who offered her a ride to an after party. She says at the party, she spoke to musician Benji Madden and his brother.
I'm talking to Benji Madden about his tattoo. It's the Last Supper.
In a statement to NBC News, a representative for the Maddens confirmed that they did not attend the 2000 VMAs and that they were on tour in the Midwest at that time. At the after party, she says she had a drink that made her feel woozy. Then she says Combs and Carter both raped her. She says she ran to a gas station where she called her father, who picked her up.
We rode home in silence. She didn't ask me what happened.
In an interview with NBC News, her father said he could not verify the claims. I feel like I would remember that, and I don't, he said. When we asked the woman about the contradictions in a phone interview on Friday, she said she stands by her statements. I have made some mistakes, she said, in remembering what happened 24 years ago. Honestly, what is the clearest is what happened to me. In a statement to NBC News, Sean Carter said, "This incident didn't happen. True justice is coming. We fight from victory, not for victory." A representative for Combs called the suit a shameless money grab.
Is any part of you scared coming out against such powerful people?
I'm scared of what could happen, but I'm more afraid of letting it eat me alive from the inside out.
Chloe Malas, NBC News.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the...
Okay. So two things, man, or a couple things. So the young lady's father says that he doesn't recall any of this. It seems like this would be something that anybody would be able to recollect, right? He claims that he does not. The gentleman from the group, the band, she specifically said that she had a conversation with him about his tattoos during the VMA awards or at the VMAs or during that time. This gentleman called in and confirmed that they were on a tour in the Midwest at the time, that they did not attend the VMAs in 2000. So you have two things right there that are going against her. Plus, as a dad myself, look, no one wants to see children hurt, okay? And as a father of a daughter, you going back up there. You're not gonna let. I don't know any fathers that's gonna let this ride like this. Just okay. Oh yeah, you know what? Don't worry about it. Put some dirt on it and rub it off. You'll be fine. Walk it off. What dad would do that, man? There would have been some furniture moving for sure. And of course, you're going up against Jay-Z and Puffy and all his people and stuff like that. You're at the very least going to the authorities. You're going to the police department. You're going to the hospital. You are going to make a huge fuss out of this. If you can't fight them physically or do something to them physically, you're going to go to the police. Her father says, I don't recall any of this. There's a lot of holes in her story. And the first two times that I heard about this, and I listened to Jay-Z, and I was trying to dissect all this, man. It just seemed like there was a lot of holes in the story then. And now this just kind of reconfirms my thought. My thoughts were, you know, I don't know if this happened to her. Okay. And I don't know if Jay-Z and Sean P. Diddy Combs is guilty of this, right? It just doesn't look like it just doesn't look like what she is alleging has any merit. It just doesn't. Her story just doesn't add up, and now it makes it even worse with this interview of her and the other things that I mentioned before about the gentleman in the band and her father not remembering this, and then the guy from the band saying, we weren't at the VMA Awards in 2000. We were in the Midwest on tour. It's poking big holes in her story. So I want to go back to this brother here and end it with this, man. Stephen A. Smith, man, a brother that I have a lot of respect for. He did a follow video on this, man. So let's check out the brother, Stephen A. Smith, man.
We're going to start with the whole Jay-Z thing because I'm not going to lie to you. I'm pissed off. I'm pretty pissed off at a lot of people. I'm pissed off at some folks in the public. I'm pissed off at some folks in my own damn family. I'm pissed off at folks on my staff. I'm pissed off at everybody, okay? Because I don't like to be misconstrued. It kind of gets on my last damn nerves. So we're going to get started by touching on this subject and attacking it with the level of candor and clarity that I like, okay? So there's no mimicking or muttering behind closed doors, all right? We're going to get started with the Jay-Z headlines. Obviously, for all of you who didn't know, sleeping under a rock, he was named in a lawsuit earlier this week alongside Sean Diddy Combs. The suit accuses both men of raping a 13-year-old girl more than 20 years ago. Jay-Z came out swinging in his defense, calling out the attorney Tony Busby, who reportedly approached Jay-Z with a demand letter before attaching his name in the Diddy suit. Jay-Z even called on Busby to file a criminal complaint. Here's the statement from Jay-Z in the immediate aftermath of the news. Breaking, quote, "These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree? These alleged victims would deserve real justice if that were the case," end quote. In the aftermath of the suit, many have wondered what impact the allegations would have on Jay-Z and his businesses. His company, Roc Nation, has a partnership deal with the National Football League to produce the Super Bowl halftime show. Here's what Commissioner Roger Goodell of the NFL had to say this week when asked about the suit. Quote, "We are aware of the civil allegations and Jay-Z's really strong response to that. We know, obviously, that litigation is happening. But from our standpoint, our relationship is not changing with them, including our preparations for the next Super Bowl," end quote. One could easily surmise that saying innocence until proven guilty. But we won't even go there. We won't even go there. And in the interest of full disclosure, when I say family, I'm not talking about immediate family. You talk about cousins and aunts and people like that. You're talking about people who you consider family. You're talking about people that you work with every day, colleagues and all of this other stuff, all right? I have tremendous people that work for me. I'm very proud of my staff, and even though I get in their ass a lot of times, especially when they get on my last damn nerves, as they have done today, okay? In the end, I want to preface my comments about them and anybody who thinks like them, some of them. I want to preface my comments by saying I know they're doing it to look out for me. And I appreciate it. But I can appreciate you looking out for me and still be annoyed to shit at you. Because that's where I'm going here. And the reason why I'm going in this direction, ladies and gentlemen, is because I want you to understand something. When I spoke about Jay-Z and I saw my comments all over social media and I saw it everywhere, you didn't hear me say I had knowledge of the case. You didn't hear me say I had knowledge of who Jane Doe is. You didn't hear me say that I knew a scintilla of what the hell these allegations entail, other than what all of you know. I don't know anything. I'm not espousing innocence or guilt from a literal perspective. But what I'm saying to you, to all of you, in America, in Dubai and Abu Dhabi, where I just came from, to Africa, to England and France and everywhere in between, what I'm saying to you is this. If you've known somebody for 25 years, do you not have the right to say, I've known that person for 25 years. I can't see that. I can't see that happening. Do you know how I would feel? I have somebody that works for me, my man Rashawn. I got my man Galen that I've known for 25 years. Both of them 25 years. I've got people in the industry that are my friends and not just my colleagues and contemporaries, my friends. They've known me for decades. Stephen A. Smith gets accused of rape. Y'all got nothing to say? Nothing. You're just going to sit there and have nothing to say. Just going to let me hang out there. If you believe in your heart, damn, I've known him for 25 years. I can't imagine him being guilty of such a thing. Nobody's going to say that? Nobody? There's nobody in this world that you'd say that about?
Man, I agree with Stephen A. Smith. 100%, man. You got people that are your peoples, and you've come up with them, man, and you know them. And there's an allegation like this, horrible allegation. You're not gonna have anything to say. I commend Stephen A. for stepping up, man. You know, he has a huge platform. The brother is super talented. The brother, man, he's got a lot to lose, right? He's got a lot to lose by stepping up and saying these things. But in the previous video, he made a lot of great points, man. This is not the government coming after Jay-Z. This is not Jay-Z's homes being raided. This is not Jay-Z being locked up and bail denied 2 or 3 times. This is someone who is alleging something, and Jay-Z stepped up, him and his attorney stepped up and said, well, we want true justice. If this thing happened, then that person should get true justice, and there should be a criminal case instead of just a civil one. This should be criminal. Man, let's continue with our brother Stephen A. Smith, man. Shout out to him, man. Shout out to Stephen A.
If that's your answer, I feel sorry for you. Because that means you don't believe in anybody. You don't have a heart and a soul enough inside of you to imagine that somebody's core decency is just too much to think that they would do something like that. That is a generic statement. That is not impugning the alleged accuser, the accuser. That is not impugning even the lawyer. We certainly wouldn't impugn the courts. We wouldn't do that. But I would hope that if somebody knows you for 25 years and you consider them a friend, that you can say, I can't imagine that. I could never see them doing something like that. I don't believe it. You literally have people scurrying in this industry and advising other people. It's not just me. There's a whole bunch of other people. Oh, don't say anything. Don't say anything. Oh, you can't say that. I can't say I know nothing. I'm not casting aspersions on anybody. I'm just telling you the person that I have known for 25 years, that I have seen around young ladies, is not a person I could ever imagine doing something like that. I can't say that because that's all I said. Anything else to go any further would be irresponsible. It would be stupid. And I don't believe I'm either. So when people come and they want you to be so ultra careful, I understand the careful part. I understand it. But shouldn't you be careful enough to actually listen to my words?
So Stephen A. Smith is not saying that that Jay-Z is guilty or innocent. He's not saying that the accuser is guilty or innocent. He's just giving his perspective on his relationship with Jay-Z over the past 25 years. And he's right. This guy's his friend. And the gentleman that he knows, he couldn't possibly see doing this crime. He's like, there's no way I could see him doing this crime. I don't know Jay-Z. I don't know Stephen A. I am a fan of both. Okay. And I would hope that he didn't do anything like this ever. Okay. But once again, like Jay-Z said, if he did do something like this, you should go ahead and make this a criminal case. And he would deserve, or whoever would deserve, to go to prison. If you do stuff like this, man, this is unacceptable. There's a lot of people that, for whatever reason, they want to see Jay-Z's demise, man. They want to see him fall from glory. I don't know. I don't have that kind of hate in my heart. You know, but then again, I am a fan of his. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that, man. Hopefully justice prevails. Hopefully justice prevails here. And yeah, shout out to Stephen A. Smith, man, for it takes that takes a lot of courage, especially being the person that he is and having the platform that he does, man. He's big time. So shout out to Stephen A. Smith, man, and I'm pretty sure we'll be covering more and more of the Jay-Z situation as we get more and more information.